package from here in the center of the facility. We have a small seating area there. If somebody needs to sit, for instance, at the end of a production session, someone wants to write how many toffees they made of the different types, because we have 4 different types, someone can sit there. Now, the last thing I want to show you is our quality control records. Now, without quality control records, you cannot get certification from the Uganda National Bureau of Standards. All these records you must keep, so it's important to have a place where you specifically keep all these records and you keep them religiously. We have some small equipment that we use to make sure we maintain quality as well. I'll start with the weighing scale. We have a digital weighing scale. It helps us to make sure we weigh all our ingredients properly. We greatly appreciate all our teachers, our lecturers and educationists, because if they did not teach us some of the things that we know now, we probably wouldn't know them or wouldn't know them so well. And we would want them to even be more, strategic as they're teaching us and training us, because from my experience, for instance, for these records that we keep for quality control, these are some of the things that, for instance, someone can be able to put into a database that is very well organized and maybe also linked to other things, so that there's less rigor and less labor intensiveness in record keeping in a facility like this. So right now we have these in files, but we look forward to having them to have an e-system which we use. So once lecturers, teachers, educationists or trainers are teaching, I think these are some of the things where they can be highly strategic and link them to things that are very practical that young people are going to meet or encounter in the future. Then if also looking at equipment like this refractometer, which actually uses density measurements. Sometimes physics you learn about density, but maybe sometimes you don't get its practical application. So when we are testing the quality of the honey before we buy, we have this small gadget. It's called a refractometer. It actually measures density. So you have to look through it, put a drop of honey here, and then you close and you look through it, and you get the density reading to know whether that honey has a lot of water, adulterated, or it is good quality honey. So it helps us to keep track, make sure we buy quality honey. Now, I talked about the Uganda National Bureau of Standards. All the equipment that you buy before certification must be calibrated by the Uganda National Bureau of Standards. So that is about the facility, and you can see once we are in this facility, we have to dress to make sure that we do not contaminate the product that we produce. We must put on headgear to make sure our hair does not, pieces of our hair do not fall into what we are producing. We do not wear any rings or bracelets. We do not have nail polish. So we have to make sure that everything we produce is not contaminated, so that we deliver to our customers our quality product. So we're briefly going to go through the process of how we produce Aroma Honey Toffee. Aroma Honey Toffee right now has a trademark with the Uganda Registration Services Bureau. So we will share with you a little bit of what we do and what we use, and not everything. However, we also have business partners. So if somebody feels they want to have some kind of business partnership with Aroma Honey Toffee, like we have a partner in Kenya and we have a partner in Rwanda, and they are also going to start producing Aroma Honey Toffee the way we do it here under that same brand name. We make a business agreement, and you sign, and we get together into the business forum. I have a sweet tooth myself, and I used to eat sugar sweets a lot. And I knew that processed sugar was not very good. Overconsumption of processed sugar was not good. I used to work in jobs where we used to have a lot of workshops and meetings. And each time on the tables or during the workshops and meetings in these hotels, they would put sweets, mint sweets, sometimes other different types of sweets. And at the end of the meeting or the workshop, all of them had been eaten. So I would look at all my colleagues who have been in the meeting and say, imagine all this sugar is now in our bodies. I felt it was not good. So when I was working with the SNP, that's the Netherlands Development Organization, we were supporting agribusinesses to grow. And some of these agribusinesses were solar drying fruits and even exporting them. So I tried to interest them. Can you make a healthy sweet? You know, because I really liked even myself sweets a lot. Can you make a sweet out of fruit powder? But you know, when it was not their target, their line of thinking. So they did not kind of pick up my idea quickly. So I decided I was going to try and do it myself. So I asked myself, what is a sweet product that exists in nature? And the first one that came to my mind was honey. So I decided I was going to try experimenting with honey. So that is why this sweet came about. It started from me having a sweet tooth. So our process for producing the toffees begins here with picking the honey. This is our honey drum where we keep the honey. We even first sieve it to make sure we remove any kinds of impurities and make sure we are actually using clean honey. So we use also a glass jug because the risk of contaminating any kind of food using from glass is minimal. So once we've put our honey in the glass jug, the glass jug is already is calibrated, so we make sure we have the right weight that we want. And because the whole process should be properly documented, we always make sure we are recording along the way. So once we've done our record, we get the honey and now put it in the heating pan. So we put our honey in the heating pan from the glass jug. We do our best to avoid wastage. It's a bit difficult with honey. The last drops in the jug may actually be lost, but we do our best. So once we've done that, this trolley helps us. We get all the other ingredients that we are going to need. We may not do a full demo of all of them, but we pick our ingredients. And our ingredients are in this cupboard and in this refrigerator. Yeah, I use, for instance, this milk cream. We actually use Jessa milk cream mainly. It's on the market, it's affordable, it's good quality. So this is one of the ingredients. So once we've picked our ingredients, we move to our production area. So once we've got our ingredients, we mix them. We heat a bit. We don't heat for long, about 15 minutes. And once we've got the right consistency of the mixture, we now still put the mixture in our glass jar. Remember I said glass has less risk of contaminating a food product. And we make 4 different types of honey toffees. One type has coconut in it, another one has coffee, another one has ginger, and another one has ground nuts. And going forward, we'll have other types and also maybe other confectionery products, but this is what we've started with. So we use molds. These molds, the silicone food grade molds. And this again is where we come to our instructors of physics, chemistry, and maybe other subjects, including even art and design. Now, silicone is one of those things we study about in chemistry. So once it is important for trainers and teachers and lecturers and other kinds of instructors to alert people they are teaching, young people, that compounds like silicone can actually produce such molds that can be used in food processing. So this is called, it's heat-resistant food-grade silicone. So it's very practical from the academic to the practice of food production. So once we've done our mixture properly, we actually pour it into these molds to set. And as you're looking at these molds, you can see they have different shapes. And part of the beauty of what we do and what we deliver to our customers are actually these shapes. You will find that we have a heart shape, we have a star, we have a rose, we have a bag, we have a shoe. All these shapes are really important. They help us in marketing our products, and they also give pleasure to somebody who is eating. If they say, oh, today I'm eating a shoe toffee, or I'm eating a bag toffee, I'm eating a heart or star toffee. These are all fun things that add to these honey toffees, or someone called honey sweets, honey candies. And it's also fun for us as we make them and as we wrap them and pack them for our customers. It adds a lot of fun and energy to what we are doing. So once we've poured our mixture into the molds, we allow it to set. It takes about 2 to 3 hours to set and harden nicely into a hard toffee. And once the process of setting has happened, we move to the next stage. And the next stage, we actually carry our toffees to the refrigerator, and they will be there for about 12 hours at least. Did we name the product Aroma? Honey toffee is clear. It comes from honey. It's a toffee. It's in that category of candies called toffees. Aroma, when I first started making these toffees, actually used to make them after work in the evenings. I come back home and rest a bit, and then I start experimenting with the toffees. They would always give off a smoke that smelled so nice, like the mixture of the ingredients would smell so nice. So I said, wow, this is a lovely aroma. So yeah, and then I also wanted a name that many people could speak, could say. Because yes, I could have named them something, a local name, maybe Chisa, honey toffee, or, you know, but I thought we want this product to be a global product. We want it to go everywhere. So if we want it to go everywhere, people should be able to say the name. They should be able to look at it maybe on a billboard or any kind of advertising channel and remember it. They should be able to look at the pack and say, yes, it was a short word. It was that word aroma, a word that everybody from every corner of the world, to put it, can actually identify with, quickly read, understand, and remember. One of the most important things starting a business are your networks of relatives, friends, but also, even more important, your family. I have benefited a lot, tremendously, from the support from my family, starting with my husband, starting with sharing the idea and getting their buy-in on this idea. getting them to look at me as someone going to do something of worth, something of value. That was very important for me, providing feedback, but above all supporting me, sometimes even sitting with me late in the night to test different ways of wrapping toffees, different ways of packing them, different ways of packaging the material, and then also sharing and telling their networks about what we have and what we have on sale, what we are coming up with, sourcing ideas and advice. This has been very important. So I want to acknowledge the support of my husband, Dr. Jackson Mubiru. He is extremely instrumental in what is going on in this facility. I also want to acknowledge and appreciate the support of my children, my biological children, but also the broader network of children who come in and stay with us for some time and leave. So my daughter, Miriam Esther Namubiru, has been very supportive and is still supportive. She is a communication, she's in the field of communication, and she has supported the business to grow using that channel of communication, particularly social media, filming, photography, design, and she has even mobilized her own networks and brought them on board to support the growth of this business. In the month of September, we commissioned Aroma Honey Toffee. We did that at Protea Hotel, and Miriam's network was extremely instrumental in making this event successful. My son, Mark William Okugwa, he is studying chemical and process engineering. He is also extremely instrumental in supporting what we are doing, looking at our equipment and giving advice, looking at the process and giving advice. But also, he's also very good with IT and also social media. So he's extremely supportive in that. He's very keen on making businesses work. So he's very keen also on looking out on how we can market better, how we can set up the distribution system for the product and get it running, you know, and effectively and efficiently running. So he's also very keen in that area. My siblings have been an amazing support as well because they're in different professional fields. Those in finance have been supporting me in making sure our financial records are in order. Those who are in anthropology, they support us to link us to people, basing on people's behaviors. So everyone in their field has really supported us a lot. Birthdays for children, we get sometimes orders here for children's birthdays for Aroma Honey Toffee. They take them to school so that they can make the product move and people get to know that the product is there and how they can access it. My parents, I cannot mention enough how I really appreciate the input they had into everything I'm doing today. My mom is alive. We had her at the commissioning. She made a speech because all this is really here because of my parents. My dad, rest in peace, he passed away, Mr. Rubanga, Ezekiel, but they did a great job with my mom and Rubanga. So really what I'm bringing out here is how networks of friends, relatives, colleagues, workmates can be so critical in building a business. So we should on there, they can become a pillar in growing our businesses.
Hi, my name is Miriam Esther Namubiru. I'm the communications lead at Aroma Honey Toffee, and it's been quite a journey, you know, from the kitchen and testing things, seeing what will work, all the way to finally being in this factory and being able to really see the product, you know, come to life, being sold to people, and people consuming it and enjoying it. What I can say is that I am very grateful for how this journey has turned out. It's really not easy for a person to conceptualize something and for it to come to fruition, and for them not to give up on it, because a lot of people start businesses and then walk away from them, and that has not been the case here. It's been the same thing, that everyone has been thriving. I'm very grateful that my mother got the chance to, have an idea that was supported by everybody at home. When I was in Gaza, there were so many clubs. There were not very many. Of course, there were prefectships and other forms of leadership, but I think where I learned most about business and making things work with however little or much you have was in clubs. Because in clubs we had things like sports day where a club would want to make money, so you could sell things, hot dogs, cakes, among other things. So we had to figure out how to multiply money that was given in terms of membership, that was given in terms of donation, and that maybe we earned from some other ways.
Dear friends, you're most welcome. We would love to go to the farms. Please put up your hand if you're already at the farm so that we can visit you. We can always come back to this video. Anyone on the farm? Teacher Elizabeth, you could find out if somebody is putting up their hand so that we can spotlight them and we go to the farm. This is the early bird farmer, and we use pre-recorded videos to start up the day. Elizabeth, go on.
There are no hands yet. There are no hands.
Maybe they are interested in the video itself.
Yes, I believe.
Okay, we shall continue the video as we wait for the first farmer to show up.
So I learned a lot about making money, organizing things through clubs when I was in high school. University, I chose to do journalism and communication because I actually wanted to be a communicator. So when we finished school, a lot of what I had learned, I kept on, even while we were in school, a lot of what I had learned, I kept on trying to apply it to real life. Like, okay, we've learned this theory, what does it actually mean in real life? It's not about cramming and passing exams, it's about application. And that's what I advise a lot of people to do, because these courses, the way they are taught, unfortunately, they are taught with a lot of theory, a lot of book reading, and less actual going out and applying them. So it's up to you to actually say, okay, how can I best apply this theory? How can I best use maybe this concept, and develop real life concepts. So while you're studying, look at brands that you admire. For example, in communications, I would look at brands like Nike that are really good at communicating with their audiences to try and apply the things that I would learn. So pick a brand and try and apply, no matter the course you're doing, maybe it's BCom, business administration, whichever it is that you want to learn. Pick the theory, pick a brand, see how these things are applied. It is the best way to learn, because if you cram, you'll get out of it and you'll be looking for your books again, which you don't have to do if you apply from the beginning. Yeah. When it comes to my advice for young people, it's really that help your parents as much as you can, because you see, your parents have been on this earth for longer than you have, which means by the time they conceptualize things or think something will work, chances are high they have seen potential for it for the years they've been on earth. So it's important that you support them because their ideas are valid. It's important that you support them because your skill sets are more specialized than theirs. So you have the expertise to make their businesses grow with whatever it is that you know. And more importantly, of course, they've taken care of you. They've been there for you. They have paid your fees. They have, done things even beyond. why not give back with the knowledge that you got, because they made sure you got it. Yeah, that's my advice.
So the idea is sometimes when you're starting out, we think, what do I have? How am I going to start? With what resources? With Aroma Honey Toffee, the first thing I did was simply to buy a jug of honey off a supermarket shelf. And then to start getting a few things, I got like milk.
Really want to find out if we can go to the farm. Anyone who is here to take us to the farm? Okay, maybe let's find out what you have picked so far in that video. You can open your microphone and speak to us. Elizabeth, you could try to prompt the members to be able to tell us any learnings.
A discussion. Video, I think halfway. The video is on validation, basically. Okay, there is a hand here. Unmute and speak, please. One Mercy.
Yeah, I'm Joan Mercy from Uganda High School.
Yes.
And for me, I would like to show you my poetry.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm here with my poetry. These are local chicken. And this one here has just finished hatching her eggs. And we see here she has 6 chicks, and she's here feeding them. We have these 2 here. This one here has 5. And then
Joan, please direct the camera to the birds you're showing us. Thank you.
We also have this one. This one here has about 6 chicks, and I confined it here because we have the weather now is changing. It may change, so I confined it here so that I can help keep our chicks alive. So I decided to do this chicken rearing because I'm resistant to diseases. So I suppose it's nice looking. They're nice looking. They're here feeding. They're here feeding. So this is how I try to manage them. So that's it. So that's my small poultry. The other ones have run away because they are mostly on free range, since we have little fish available, and since we have these local ones, we just do the free range system. But the problem around here is that we have some parasites that disturb them. These parasites are very deadly, but we try to prevent them by applying some grease that kills them. So I try to prevent it because it's very deadly. So that's it. Thanks to you, the teachers, for your lessons here. I appreciate because I wasn't expecting to be very calm.
Okay. Mercy, thank you so much. I hope you're still there. I want to, okay. I think I should first ask you, where do you want to see your project going? Probably in a month or 2 years. I see it's a young project and it's very, very promising. Thank you so much. Do you see your project going anywhere? And members in the group as well, you can add up and see what can Mercy do to improve her project or to make it better. Mercy?
Madam, please pardon the question. I haven't heard you very well because you are breaking.
Mercy, I've watched your video. It's very promising. It's very lovely. Thank you so much. And I was asking, where do you want to see your project? Like probably in months, years. They are local birds, right?
Yes, they are.
Yes, they are. And I believe you've done them. How long have you been doing the project?
It's been about 5 years, but because of pest diseases, they've been dying. So I've lost very many. That's why I have a few.
Currently, how many do you have?
The hens are 5, and then I haven't yet counted the chicks, but the hens are 5.
Mm-hmm. It's very important to know the number of birds you have. On hatching, count out the chicks. Those are records, okay? And how many cocks do you have, like the cocks that are being used for mating?
At the moment, we just use the outside cocks because our cocks were stolen. Yes.
Okay, and that's why I was asking you, where do you want to see your project going? And probably, okay, you've said it's been five years, but you faced a couple of challenges, which is very, very common and normal for farmers to face these challenges. However, some of these challenges can be worked upon, and we see the projects growing. Local birds are very, very marketable. They are so lucrative if you really put your efforts in it, okay? They don't sell like the exotic ones, okay? So where do you want to see your project going? These are the questions you're supposed to ask yourself. We're dealing with entrepreneurship right now. We want to connect what we do to entrepreneurship. How do we earn out of it, okay? That's why I'm asking. These are questions you should be asking yourself. And maybe if you don't have the answers right now, later on, sit down, formulate, think about it. Where do I want to see my project going in a year, in 2 years, in 3 years? And how do I get there? Okay? Marcy?
Okay, madam.
Yes, so think about it so well and be vigilant with your records. Probably next time you bring us back to your farm, we can talk about other things like how do you make your farm more secure? More secure. There is free range these days that we do that is not necessarily allowing the birds to go beyond a certain boundary. So I don't know your setting where you are, but these are things you can think about if you're really going to take it the further step of entrepreneurship. Okay?
Okay, madam. Thanks for the advice. I do appreciate.
Yes, so you can talk to mommy and daddy and take them through your dream of doing this more. Okay, Mercy?
Okay, madam. Thanks.
Yes. Thank you so much to members in the group. Are there any questions for Mercy or for me for that matter? Any questions? Okay.
Yes,
There is a
madam.
raised hand.
Madam, are we also allowed to show the videos recorded before?
Yes, if you recorded your video before or yesterday, please, you're allowed to show your video.
Yes. Okay.
So you raise your hand so that you're given the spotlight to show or rights to show your video.
Faith Natabona.
He has the right to share.
Okay.
Maybe as Faith looks for her video, Teacher Elizabeth, you could ask if there is somebody on the farm to raise their hand.
All right, Faith, you're welcome, finally. Yeah. Faith, eine 0. Okay, but I guess we can have her explain to us afterwards. Okay, okay. Again.
But I'm now finished.
We failed on the sound, my dear. Maybe you can take us through what you were saying in your video, because we didn't get any sound at all.
Okay.
Tell us about your project. Yeah.
Okay, my project, I'm called Nataona Faith, and I'm in Lira district right now.
Okay.
So during the COVID time, the first lockdown actually, so my parents were like, you cannot sit down you're just there seated and nothing. By then we had no online lessons. So we began the project. So inside there, we began with 10 chicks. We began with 10 chicks, the small ones. But right now they are big. Right now we are having 30 birds, the big ones, and 2 mother turkeys inside there. Plus the young turkeys are 5. And the young turkeys are 5. So also the hatched ones, yesterday even two mother hens hatched. There were 10 also, there were 10 chicks yesterday also which were hatched. Then even on Sunday we had 20 which were hatched. So that's how my project is growing. For us, during day there is where they sleep, they stay during day. Then at night there is where they also stay. So we cannot release them because perhaps we are near the hospital. So then even we are worried they may eat people's stuff and they cause problems after. So we cannot release them to go outside. Don't use the free range system. We don't use it. So if whoever is outside there, you can start even with the lowest number of birds and your project goes on growing. Yes, even as with the challenges we receive, the diseases, sometimes you can find that in the morning you have lost over like three hens. So sometimes it's hard even to know what was the cause. But finally, after some time, that's when you get the cause of why these birds died. So thank you so much, madam.
Okay. You're speaking about that birds dying. I didn't get that part properly.
Yes, because sometimes in the morning you may wake up like you bring them outside where they stay during daytime. So when you bring them, you may find over like 2 have died, and it takes some time to know what was the cause, were they stepped on, and such stuff. Then what happened? The big challenge we are facing.
I may not necessarily be able to tell exactly what the challenge is as well, because I'm not the one on ground. However, one thing I know about birds that are confined, local or not local, diseases tend to be more rampant. And sometimes you may not necessarily recognize that the birds are getting are dying over disease unless you see a very big batch down. Okay. So perhaps you need to look more into, since they are confined birds, they are confined, right?
Yes.
Since they are confined, you need to be more vigilant on high things like where they feed from. Sometimes you need to clean out the waste. Confinement tends to breed disease if you do not be a little bit more, you know what I mean, okay? Faith?
Yes, madam.
Okay, I think we are losing Teacher Elizabeth on that, but Faith, I think the message we are getting from there is to be more careful, be keen, and see that every other thing is clean so that you eliminate a few diseases.
Okay, they are always clean, but I think where they sleep, this mother, I think this guy, like the big bitches, overstep on them. Because after, like right now, someone is already, because right now we are working shifts. Right now, someone is already cleaning where they're going to be the whole day. So during 10, somebody also will go there and watch over them and put everything right and clean whatever is there also. Then lunchtime also somebody will go there. Then until we take them inside.
Okay, Teacher Winnie has her hand up. Teacher Winnie, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Dongo, and thank you, Faith. I've seen the project. One thing I want to tell you about chickens is that they die because of lack of enough water. I don't know if you're there to always monitor if they have water all the time, especially during day. Because if you give them food without water, they are affected, dry food. So make sure that there is water for drinking for them all the time. Thank you, Faith.
Okay, anyone with a add-on or question for Faith as we look for the next farmer? Henry, were you saying something? Okay, who else is at the farm? Or who else recorded a video that they can show us? We received so many videos in the My Garden Challenge, and we want to get back to everyone so that we understand your project better. I think it is getting to 7 and it is clear in the sky, so people can easily walk to their farm if it is near. And if your farm is far, you need to do a pre-record of your video so that you can show us the video the next day. I think Teacher Elizabeth is back. Teacher Elizabeth, are you there? Yes, Joan Mercy.
Master, for me, I have a question for you.
Okay, go ahead.
Is it possible for me to show another farm that's not about birds, or this is only for birds?
No, anything entrepreneurial.
Oh, then I'll show you later, not today.
Okay, okay, thank you, Joan. Going forward, we shall be asking those who want to show their farms, either physically or recorded, to book dates so that we know who is showing on which day. Hannah?
Excuse me, teacher. I have just joined. I joined at 6:40. So I don't know if you put the tomato growing video or not.
No, Hannah, we've not put the tomato growing video because we were getting that, but we didn't get it yesterday. I know Hannah wants to grow some tomatoes. So, Teacher Elizabeth, Hannah wants to learn more about tomatoes. If we can find somebody growing tomatoes or somebody who can give us a video on that. So there being no other farmer, we could either go to the strawberry farmer or any other wish we can respond to. Okay, let me play the strawberry farmer then. As we wait, when you at the farm or anybody comes in and is at the farm, please raise your hand and then we shall always stop the video so that we can come with you to the farm.
This is Rebecca at Coos Fresh Farm. We are located in a village called Garuga, 4 kilometers off of Entebbe Road. It takes you about 4 to 5 minutes to get to our place here. So today we want to look at the steps we go through to actually have this tasty fruit, which is called a strawberry. We have more than strawberries. We have other berries, but today we're going to talk about the strawberry. We will take you through from seed production to harvest. Right here, we have already some seedlings that are ready to be planted. They are ready for transplant. As one of the streams that we make money through here at Coos Fresh is to make seed production. So people book in. We have a minimum order of 500 seedlings. So people book in, we prepare the seedlings for them, and such is a batch. This batch is ready to go out. So we will now go down there and we see how we prepare our gardens, how we establish the seedlings, which one is the good seedling to go, how do we plant it, when do we transplant it, how do we transplant it, why do we transplant it, and then the different steps that will lead us up to a harvested fruit. When we decided to come and do strawberries here, we knew that we had to be organized. And what other way other than making a site plan? Because I knew that we needed to have guidance. We needed to have a plan. So I designed the site plan. And this is what we came up with. We came up with 2 designs. And the engineer, with the help of an engineer, we chose which design to take because of the type of gradient we had. The greenhouse is in place. The gardens are here, facing this way. The gate, we have a gate at the greenhouse, we have our trees and everything. I'm proud to say right now, each and everything that we have in this plan is on site. So we think that every farmer should have something like this. I encourage everyone to do a site plan like that. This is our garden. In this space, we are going to have 98 ridges. 98 ridges. And on those 98 ridges, we shall have 33,000 plants. So here we can see that some of these ridges are a little bit shorter because of the design setup. But when we go down there, we will see that the ridges, that side are longer, and all the other ones will be longer. So when we put all our calculations together, we shall be in position to have 33,000 plants on 0.7 of an acre, and that is our planning area, the planting area. So here I would like to demonstrate how we prepare our garden. Oh, this is a ridge. It is 11 meters long. Its length is 11 meters and its width is 1 meter. Its height is 1 foot. Width is 1 meter, length is 11 meters, height is 1 foot. Why do we raise the soil? Because strawberries have very fragile root, a very fragile root system. So it needs to be in a soft and airy prepared soil, something like that. So we raise the soil, we dig it up and add in loads of things. We add the humus. In this case, we're using cow dung, goat dropping, rabbit dropping. We mix all that because we need to capture as much nutrient as possible. So we mix the cow dung, we mix the goat dropping, the rabbit dropping, and then we enrich the soil as much as we can. That's why you see it has that thick and rich black color. We have also gone ahead to do soil testing, and we have a soil report. And in that soil report, we discovered that our soil pH needs to be boosted. So because of that, we were advised to lime the soil So we are doing agricultural lime to boost the soil pH, because the strawberry plant needs to grow in a soil pH of between 4.5 to 5.5 acidity. So that's what we're trying to do here. Not trying, but the report shows that this is what we should do, and it is all calculated, and we have put it here. So we're trying to create that depth of 1 foot. As I had explained earlier, we need the soil to be airy, to be aerated. To people who do not have sandy loam soil, it is recommended that you can also put some sand, because sand also helps to make the soil light. The roots of the strawberry are very small and really, really fragile, so they need light soil. You realize that we're using 2 different tools. We have 3 people working on this bed, but we're using 2 different tools. We have the garden fork, and then we have a hoe. The fork is to dig deep and bring the soil from the lower part and mix it on the top mixture that we have put to go in the lower part. So he is digging and mixing. And then the person who has the hoe is trying to level, to create a level. And why do we need a level? We need this level because at the end of the day, we're going to have drip lines laid on the beds, these drip lines. So if we have anything that is not leveled, then the water movement will be disturbed. So while he's using the garden fork to take the soil to mix up the soil together with the humus and the lime, the other one is using the hoe to level. And I think you can see that we are not so bad with the leveling. The water, the drip lines are being laid. The pipes are already in place, and they are coming from this system here. So the water comes from the tap there, and it goes through a filter, goes through that filter, and then the taps come. Each of these blocks has a valve. This is where it all begins. It's our feeding tank, and this is where fertigation begins. Like Jamil has already turned on the tap, water goes into there. If we're going to, on a day we're going to feed, we put the feed inside there. Then we turn on the tap, and the water pouring in begins the mixing process. So the water comes down through this pipe here, okay? Through this pipe here, and then it goes through this filtration. It goes through this filter before it gets to the drip lines there. It is filtered here because we do not know what comes with what. So just to protect the vents inside the drip lines, we filter here. Then from the filter, it comes through this pipe and then joins the pipes down there. Fertigation of which garden is tapped off of that line that is going down to the end of the garden. So in this case, for this garden that we are doing now, as you can come and see, the water is already dripping. So why do whenever we are going to transplant, this is the process. Dig up the soil with all the mixtures going on, lay the drip lines, open up, wet the place before you put the plant. There are so many holes on these drip lines, and at every point where the hole is, where it is dripping, we put a plant, and that's how we end up with this number of plants on one garden. So it is all precision. It is all calculated, and it is calculated from the beginning to the very end. And This is what every farmer that would like to realize profits or good sales or happiness in agriculture should go into. Yeah. After that, as that is still going on, we then place our mulch, which we have already punched. When all the dripping is going on, the soil is getting moisture to receive the new seedling, because the seedling has already been in a place where it is well taken care of. So when it's coming to its new home, it needs to find a well-prepared ground with the fertilizer and the water. So now, what dripping is going on, as you can see, and now we're going to place the mulch. So this mulch is punched by us. We do a lot of calculation. Remember, I've already said that each drip line is already punched. So when we do our punches, when we do our punching on the mulch, we do the punching in alignment with what is on the irrigation line. Again, here we have this alignment. We have this alignment with the punching that we put on the mulch, in alignment with the punching that is done on the irrigation line, on the drip irrigation line. So we have so many tricks we have come up with in a way of securing the mulch. Sometimes we put that soil, sometimes we even put nails to, we pin it. We pin it so that, when it is in place and it is secure, then the plant is not disturbed by a moving mulch. So all he's doing right now is trying to secure the mulch. So, having done this, we are now just a few, probably one step away from transplanting. So what Jamil is doing now, according to this model, one drip line serves 2 lines of plants. The water is dripping in between there, and this plant, the plant its root system is already developed. So once you put it in there, the water will drip and go under. And when it goes under the soil, it enlarges its base, and it will find that root wherever it is. So in that way, we are, again, precision and calculations. Because if we put a drip line on each and every line here, that this is a drip line, this is a drip line, this is a lot of money. So the design and the model is that one line of drip for 2 lines of crop. And it has been studied and it works. This bag is called a planting bag, a nursery bag. It is small enough for the plant to feel secure and grow fast, but it is also big enough for the plant to, it's big enough to house this plant. So once you put the soil and the root, the first thing the plant does is to grow its root system. If the root system grows in this space and it becomes root bound, then it will feel secure enough for it to grow upwards. So now at our transplant, we come, open this up. So this is it. The roots are okay, they're very healthy, they are big enough, they are many, enough to support this plant. Now this plant is more than ready to come and fend for itself in its new home, which is this garden that we have designed. So each one of these seedlings here is a seedling until now. It is a seedling until now. The moment we put it here, it becomes a plant, a new plant, a big enough plant to fend for itself. We have given it its food inside there. So this root system, the way it is developed, once we put it inside, Jamil, you can now plant this thing here. Once you put it inside, it will just continue. It is just going to continue. So it is the chances of this plant developing into a healthy plant are 99%. It will never die. It will not die, at least not from germination issues. So this is how we prepare our garden. Like I said, it is a seedling until this stage. At this stage, it is beginning its new life. You see, these are roots, baby roots, but they are very healthy and they will just continue. So now, this is our transplant. So this is what we do on this bed, and that's what we shall do there and there, and that's what we have done the whole of this space, and that's what we shall do this way. It's the same process, just like any other thing. Because the seedling is coming from a very tender place and it's being introduced to this new place, and the weather and the conditions could be different, the seed also reacts, the seedling, the new plant reacts in different ways. If the sun is very hot, much as it has a good root system down there, yes, it will continue to grow, but the sun can easily, work different with the leaves. So for us, where we have gotten used to it, that we give it all that it is supposed to get. But for all these gardens here, that's what we have gone through. So we can now count. Today is 20th. Today is 20th October. 1 month is 20th November, 20th December. Those are 2 months. 20th January, we shall be harvesting. We shall begin to harvest. Again, depending on the conditions, the general conditions of the garden and the climate, what do we have and what don't we have. However, the advantage we have in this garden is that we are mechanized. We have a drip irrigation system. So there should not be any reason for us to say that we cannot plant. Even if it was hot, very hot, we would still transplant. If the program tells us to transplant, we transplant. Why? We have put in place, we have mechanized. All we need to do is to turn the water on and put the feed in the water, lay the drip lines, put the mulch on, and do the transplant. In the future, this is our plan. We now have a semi-automatic system. But very soon, once all this is planted, we are going to upgrade our irrigation system to a fully automated system where we have sensors in the garden and we have an application that on the phone, and all we need to do is trigger. Once the sensors do the trigger, the irrigation system will turn on and the plants will receive their feed because it is time for them to feed according to the system. Now, all we shall be doing here, me and my team here, all we shall be doing after that automated system is to do crop management. So this is the cycle. It all comes with what we feed. We feed the plant to be able to have fruit, take it off, produce flower, grow into mature fruit, harvest it, take it off, feed the plant again, and the cycle goes on and on and on. And the more we have of this, the more we have of fruit, the more we have of harvest, and the more sales we make, and the broader smiles we have to the bank. We're actually happy. Here we have the different sizes. The flower, the baby fruit, growing there, into that, into this, to this stage, to this stage, then it will be ripe, like that. You can harvest this one now. We have also noticed that a garden like this can be harvested from 6 to 10 weeks, but it is very relative, and we have gone a very long way to determine the length of the period, the length of our harvest period. We have gone a long way because our feeding is precise. Our feeding is precise, it is researched, and those are some of the lessons we give to our learners when they come here, and every lesson is paid for. And also the variety of strawberry we have is very well researched, and we are happy to know that we have this variety. And we also know and have researched and know very well how many punnets we should, this is a punnet. It is 250 grams. This is 250 grams, and it will have from 12 to 20 fruits, depending on the size. When the crop is new, we get very big fruits, and we shall have 12 in a punnet. As time goes on, as the crop is running out, the strawberries naturally get smaller. So, and there is our, that's how we collect. With this kind of setup, we believe that first of all, there's a lot of different levels of learning going on here, or applications. There is a lot of mechanical application through the irrigation system. There's a lot of chemical application through the feeding system. There's a lot of mathematical application through the precision with the numbers. Basically, there's a lot of integration here, and I would like to use this opportunity to encourage young people to use spaces like these ones to come up with innovations. Because, for example, today, if we got a young person to give us a drone that can help us to, instead of doing the foliar fertilizing with that knapsack, if a young person can innovate a drone that can give us foliar fertilizing with that drone, then that would be a plus for us, but also for this young person. And because the world is banking so much on agriculture and agripreneurship, that is one thing that can roll out for farmers to use.
Yes, good morning, everyone. That was the strawberry farm. That lady, and many of you are asking, is the video done? Yes, it's done. And that's what that lady had for us. Anyone with any video? Because time is running. Our time is almost done. Anyone with something to tell us?
Is Teacher Elizabeth still there? Okay, we haven't run out of time. Okay, friends, any takeaways from the video? Any takeaways? Sorry, a parent had called me and I'd gone off. Any takeaways from the video? Anyone wishing to start strawberry farming? I can see in the chat people sending hi's to each other, but not responding to what I'm asking them to do. Okay. So today we've caught up with the two farmers who showed us their poultry farms. We have had visiting farmer, but we also watched a video from Aroma Toffee. So that now takes us into tomorrow. We'll still be here at 6 a.m. and we hope that we shall find some farmers on the farm. On Monday, I think we did not manage to get someone on the farm. Today we managed to get two people presenting, and we shall grow the strength as we go on. Okay, unless somebody has anything to say, I want us to close here. And Faith, can you pray for us?
Okay, let's humble ourselves for a word of prayer. Heavenly Father, I want to thank you for this morning. I want to thank you for everyone who has attended. I want to thank you for our teachers. I want to thank you for every presenter. May this, what we have learned and seen, add the value to our lives. May it help us to change our lives as the youth. May you grant the gift of wisdom, knowledge, and understanding to us. May you bless the works of our hands and keep us safe. May you bless this day as we come unto you. May you help us. May you help our parents to get the money to buy for us. That in Jesus' name I've prayed. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Faith. I will close this meeting now so that I prepare the room for our next meeting. Bye-bye.